I said earlier that the BBC was spending too much time talking about Russell Brand, but of course, the BBC is compromised by what Russell Brand did while he was working for the BBC, for BBC Radio particularly. I mean, the latest story is about him exposing himself and then laughing about it on the radio immediately after. And it's extraordinary. This is a story that took place in 2008. And I don't quite understand why he would be doing these things, why he can't control himself. And then Katy Perry referred to her husband as Rasputin. I don't know whether this was because of his Jesus-like looks or of the of his prodigious member. I have no idea, but in fact I've lost my Rasputin biography. I lent it to a Russian student and never got it back, which was a bit of a shame. It was a good biography. But Russell Brand has been accused of various things, and the stories of his sort of laddish behaviour don't in any way give him an easy defence. I think I think that they compound the image of him being a slightly twittish boy, and a bit of a lad, and a bit of a player, I think is the term, and rather self-conscious about that. And I think it's rather sad that somebody who is so clearly intelligent, so clearly good at stringing together sentences and ideas, should be so crippled by such an uninhibited libido, and that he should get into so much trouble. I think the Georgina Bailey story is deeply lamentable, and I think there are other stories coming out which are regrettable. Does that make him criminal? Again, we come back to this thing. I don't think it necessarily makes it easy to get a criminal case to stick, and I think in any case he is innocent until proven guilty. Does it harm his reputation? Absolutely. There is also the possibility, he's been deplatformed from YouTube, from stage appearances and so on, but his notoriety is going to fuel those who search for him on other platforms, and I think the chances are he will have some sort of career. It was very different to the one he's got at the moment, but I think the chances of him ending up with a criminal conviction are very slight, and I think it's wrong of the present government to encourage news outlets and platforms to deplatform him. I don't think that's their job. I think I can understand if a platform decides to deplatform him, and I would sort of nod in some silent approval. But I don't think it's something that the government should be encouraging. And deplatforming him, I deplatformed him long ago when the Andrew Sachs story came out. I just decided I wasn't going to look at programs that he was in. And I found him a little distasteful before that, but I sort of tolerated him. I just thought, okay, I'm out of touch. The Andrew Sachs thing, I made a decision. And I see no reason why, if I make a decision, companies like YouTube can't make a decision. They're welcome to, but I don't think it's the job of the government to tell them to, unless this person is proven to be a criminal. He is not, and government ministers and government chairs of committees should shut their mouth. and should get on with their real job, which sadly, as I've pointed out on here a few times, they cannot be bothered to do properly anyway, which is a shame. If they focused on their real job, then maybe they wouldn't get themselves into a mess and be constantly on the front page of the newspapers. But maybe that's why they've elected to take a job in Parliament, so that they can be on the front page of the newspapers, because they're in love with publicity rather than with their sense of responsibility to their electorate and to the country. I think they've got it upside down, back to front, wrong.